Forget plot twists. When the author tells you that something bad is going to happen on the very first page and even proceeds to give you details on what exactly is going to happen, but you find yourself tensed when the events leading to the tragedy start to play out and you won't find your fingers crossed hoping that it won't happen, that's when you know you're reading a great book. That's genius right there. Hello Vicky, Chinelo here. Welcome to Online Book Club. I've watched a couple of legal thrillers, but I have no memory of ever reading any. That is of course before I read today's book, The Impossible Mock Orange Trial. And all I can say is I should have started sooner, because the intensity of following a court case with all the information from both parties, all their thoughts, all their actions, just stimulates something in you. Let me fill you in on what the book is about. The major parties involved in this case are a tire manufacturer and the victims of an accident. I can give you details of the accident because it's not a spoiler. It's literally on the first page of the book. As I was saying, it happens on a very fine day. Like if you skip the first few pages of the book and start reading from when Bess, that's the driver of the car at the time of the accident, wakes up from sleep, you would have a huge smile on your face because the events of the morning are described so beautifully. Bess wakes up from sleep and she prepares breakfast for her daughter. And then she tells her that she's going to get Easter dresses for her and her cousin Serena that day. And then the little girl excitedly says, "Yeah, mama, let's do, but you're gonna get me something nicer than Serena, aren't you, mama?" You read about Bess calling her bestie to come shopping with her, and then you just sit there and absorb the homely vibe. But if you do not skip the first few pages, you would already know that the day ends with the death of a child, serious brain injury for another child, and severe injuries for everybody involved in the accident. The accident is caused by a blown-out tire, which leads to the collision of the car with a tree, and that brings us to the lawsuit. Some sharks convinced the victims and their family members that they could help them prove that the accident was caused by a manufacturing defect in the blown-out tire and even the car. Ted Bourne, the lawyer hired to represent the tire manufacturer, has reason to believe that the tire didn't blow out due to a manufacturing defect, but due to neglect by the car owner. On the surface, it doesn't look like such a difficult case, except the victims were all African American residents of a county where the juries were all or mostly African Americans, with a history of rendering verdicts in generally millions of dollars in favor of local residents against big out-of-state corporations. What is justice and who is going to get it? I'm not even going to lie, this book had me questioning my morality, because at first I was like, big corporation, individual, the corporation should lose immediately. I didn't care about the facts, I didn't care about evidence. I was like, a couple $1 million won't hurt a big corporation, but it could, make the lives of the victims more bearable. I just wanted the victims, the individuals, to win. But then the thoughts of Dave, a lawyer that was called to assist Ted, made me reconsider. He was conflicted, so he asked himself, do I believe they ought to win or lose based on evidence, based on the truth? And his answer was yes, because everyone deserves a fair trial irrespective of who or what you are. That's what justice is, I guess. So I got rid of my bias and started focusing on the facts to decide whose side I was on. The Impossible Mock Orange Trial is not entirely tragic though. There's tension, drama, and a lot of humor. I laughed so hard when the sharks were prepping Bess and her best friend for court. It was so funny. The law lingo I learned from this book left me feeling very knowledgeable, and Tad Jilong, that's the author, is an attorney, so it's all correct information. The link to your copy of The Impossible Mock Orange Trial is in the description, so go click on it. In a couple of weeks, I'll interview the author, so subscribe so we can go behind the scenes with him together. Don't forget to like this video. See you next week, Vicky.